We are back here on the Anthony Adams Show. I'm filling in for Anthony Adams today. My colleague is taking care of some outside business. I'm Charlene Mitchell, and we thank the Wayne County Sheriff for being here, and Mark, along with his recruiter, talking about the activities at the Wayne County Sheriff's Office. We're going to spend the next hour talking about Wakanda Forever, that song that you just heard. That beautiful song, I love it. And if you don't recognize the voice, that is Rihanna. And at the end of the film, if you've been to the theater, that comes up. And before they even put the credits up, I knew it was Rihanna. I mean, her voice is so distinctive. I have my own opinions of the movie. Base is just a moviegoer, not a movie reviewer, not a historian. I don't know how all the connections, made it. I'm not a real Marvel fan, but I enjoyed the movie. But I figured to talk about it, I needed somebody who really could delve into it. And Michael Imhotep, you are the man. I haven't seen you in a couple of years.
Yes.
You've been broadcasting, doing your show from your home studio.
Right.
And I'm glad you came in today.
Oh, thanks for inviting me.
Feels good to be back,
Anthony Adams. Yeah, it feels good to be back. I've been out to the studio in 2 years. Kevin Coles and said that, hey, I could broadcast from home. So we did that, and that's what I've been doing. I'm still on Sundays, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the African History Network show, right here on 910 a.m. Superstation WFDF Future Radio.
What did you think about Wakanda Forever?
Oh, it's fantastic. It's fantastic. The movie blew me away. I saw the first Black Panther. I think probably opening day. The first Black Panther came out February 16th, 2018. And I saw Black Panther Wakanda Forever this past Saturday. My sisters at Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, the Lambda Rho Zeta chapter, had a screening and white party out in Rochester Hills, Imagine Theater in Rochester Hills. So it was an emotional movie. It blew me away. And because of the passing of Chadwick Boseman in 2020 from colon cancer, Ryan Coogler and his writing partner, Joe Robert Cole, had to rewrite the script because they already had a script written. They had to rewrite basically the entire script, figure out how they're going to deal with this. So, and what we see is more African culture infused into it. Ruth Carter, who's the costume designer, did a fantastic job. In the first Black Panther, we saw 11 different African cultures infused into the first Black Panther. Ruth Carter, who was also the costume designer on the Malcolm X movie, the movie Malcolm X, starring Denzel Washington. She spent 6 months researching 11 different African cultures. So we saw that represented in the first film and the second film. And then this time around, they add in a Mesoamerican angle into it as well, infuse Mesoamerican culture.
And please define, what is Mesoamerican?
Well, Mesoamerican deals with cultures in Mexico and Central America, Nicaragua, Aztec culture, Olmec culture.
Were those the characters that had the nose thing, the thing over the nose?
Right. So those are the people from Talocan.
I was trying to figure that out. I'm like,
what
is this?
Those are the people from Talocan. So that was Prince Namor, who in the comic books, Prince Namor is from Atlantis, the underwater world of Atlantis. In the comic books, he's depicted as more being a European. Here they have Mexican actor Tenoch Huerta portrayed Prince Namor, and it brings in a Latino, Mesoamerican culture to it. But we see Aztec culture and Mayan culture represented.
Was that a good thing?
Yeah, I think it was a good thing because they deal with a shared experience of being victims of colonization. Mm-hmm. So when you understand Prince Namor, he's half human, half mermanus. Like underwater, like mermaid, male mermaid, so to speak. So he's half human.
He has those feet that fly.
Well, he has wings on his feet. Yeah. So the inspiration in the Marvel comic books, he first appears in Marvel Comics in 1939. The inspiration comes from Greek mythology.
Wow.
But here they change it and give it a Mesoamerican Latino inspiration. And his he's known as the feathered serpent also, which comes from Aztec culture as well. It comes from like Quetzalcoatl. It comes from Mayan culture also.
But see, you understand all this. A person like me that goes in and I'm a moviegoer occasionally. Sure. I'm not a Marvel comic book follower, but I had to see this movie. I saw the first one.
Right.
And of course, you kind of get pulled into it because I knew I wanted to talk about it, so I had to see it. But I didn't get everything that you're talking about. In fact, I was sitting there like, well, why are they doing this and why are they doing that and who's this and who are these people? It was very. I think I'd have to see it again.
Yeah, you have to see it again. I'm going to see it again as well.
You have to see it again.
There's more.
And it's 2.5 hours.
There's more to see. Well, it's 161 minutes, almost 3 hours. Yeah, it's the longest Marvel movie, number one. And I've been doing a lot of research on it because I'm doing a presentation this weekend, this Saturday, dealing with the film also, and breaking down the film as well. But one of the things they deal with is a shared history of being victims of colonization.
Yes.
Okay, Africans being victims of colonization, and as well as the underwater world of Talokan, so in the comic books it's Atlantis. Okay. Here they changed it and deal with that.
So these are fictitious names.
These are fictitious.
Talokan is not a real place.
Talokan is not a real place, but Talokan is that's a word that comes from the Mesoamerican culture as well. So we see this influence coming from these cultures, coming from their spiritual systems, coming from myth, etc. And then even the hand symbol that we see Prince Namor do and the people, the Talokaneals, the people of Talokan. That is inspired by Mesoamerican culture, and it's a serpent opening its mouth. So the Latino actors on the film said that they wanted a symbol that is as powerful as the Wakandan salute. Okay, so the Wakandan salute, number one, people, when you do the Wakandan salute, is always right over left, right arm over left. It's never left arm over right.
I don't think people know that. They just,
well, that's why you got me on the show. Yeah. That comes from the position of the Nasubitis, the pharaohs, when they're in the sarcophagi, the painted coffins. That's a symbol of power. Left. It's always right over left. And when you see it in the movie, 99.9% of the time, the people do it right over left. Now, you may see an extra who showed up late one day and didn't get the memo, and they do left over right, but it's right over left. And that's inspired from ancient Kemet, ancient Egypt. Kemet's one of the original names for Egypt, land of the blacks. So it comes from that. So we see these different African influences all throughout the film, Black Panther. The Panther deity, Bast, comes from Bastet, which is a neter, or a goddess coming from ancient Kemet, okay, a goddess of warfare. Originally, it was depicted as like a lioness head, but then later it's a cat's head on a woman's body.
Yes.
This is where this comes from, and it's important for people to understand. Wakanda is, even though it's a fictitious place somewhere in Central East Africa, somewhere around Rwanda, Uganda. Wakanda is a real word. Wakanda, we see it in the Omaha Ponca and Sioux Indian Native American languages. Wakanda means possesses secret powers. We also see it in the Osage language as well. There are schools, like in Nebraska, named Wakanda. In Wisconsin,
really?
There's a Wakanda Water Park.
Wisconsin?
Yeah.
Of all places.
Yeah. Well, so people have to understand, before I did my first lecture on the film Black Panther, I did 2 to 3 months of research on the film back in 2018. So I read over 100 articles on the film and the comic book. I bought a book that dealt with the 52-year history of the Black Panther comic book and the Black Panther character, because you have to understand the movie, you have to understand the Marvel comic universe.
And which I did not.
And at the time I've been studying history 30 years now. At the time I've been studying history, 26 years.
I mean, this is your thing.
But I knew, even though I'm a historian, I knew I was not qualified to speak intelligently on the film without doing extensive research. Now, let me put this very politely. Other people were not as wise as I was to go do the research before they started putting stuff out about the film. Let me just leave it right there.
Because I've seen a lot of so-called, bona fide movie critics who didn't seem to really understand.
You have to put in the work.
The historical part of it.
You have to go do the research.
Because you could say things that could be very embarrassing or even disrespectful to certain cultures if you don't understand it.
You got to go do the research of what you're seeing. And what I learned is when you go see a movie about a comic book, you got to go research the comic book to understand the movie.
Well, that's
understand the changes in the movie.
Most of us aren't going to do. Do you
mind taking a couple calls?
Oh,
absolutely.
We're going to take Jerome, and then we're going to take Jerome, Kwame, Bayri, PG, and we got another one coming in. Jerome, you're up.
Give me 1 second. Okay.
A mind cannot teach what it does not know.
Yes, brother. That's Dr. Ray Higgins.
One thing real quick, I want to urge everybody just to pull up Joe Biden's on public safety and just carefully listen to that, and then you will understand a whole lot about what's going on with your government and with your city administration. But to talk a little further, nobody in this state has a certification or accreditation of African American history. So I just want to say Michael should be one of the people, one of the experts on the staff.
Let's send a letter to Governor Whitmer. That could be a new category of staff or consulting.
That's true.
That would be excellent.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I'll
for
do that. I'll do
you.
that. I need to make some calls on that one.
Yes, and you need some backup.
Yeah, I need some
back
backup
up on that.
Yep.
Jerome, thank you.
Thanks, Jerome.
We're up against the break. When we come back, we will take a call from Kwame, Bayri, and PG. So hang on tight. We'll be right back with Michael Imhotep. All right, and that is Rihanna, one of the songs from the soundtrack. They sort of play this at the end of the film.
Yeah.
And you were saying that music is an integral part of any movie. It kind of sets a mood.
Oh, absolutely.
And I wonder if she recorded that during her pregnancy, because she's kind of been, not on the grid for a while, because she had a baby.
Right.
And so she wasn't performing and all of that. I wonder, wow. She didn't stop working because she made this song.
Well, our black women don't stop working when they get pregnant.
No, that is true. That is true. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
We might do different kind of work, but we're still doing something, right?
Right. Well, they still work their regular 9-to-5 job, pregnant, so. But yeah, it's a fantastic movie. I encourage people to go see it. And then also, I encourage people to visit my website, theafricanhistorynetwork.com, theafricanhistorynetwork.com, because there's a presentation I'm doing this weekend at Hannon House Center, which is located right near Wayne State University.
Right, Hannon House.
And it's a lunch and learn that's taking place 2:30 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. And I'm doing a presentation dealing with Black Panther Wakanda Forever.
Now, can people register to come?
Yeah, they register for it.
Do they buy tickets?
They register for it. So the information's on the website. You want to call Chiquita, because she is the sister who's organizing this event. They're actually
call
doing
Chiquita. What's Chiquita's phone number?
Yeah, I'm pulling it up right now. So there's a screening of the film taking place at 11 a.m. For those who haven't seen it, taking place at the MJR Universal 16 Theater at 28600 DeQuinder Avenue, 28600 DeQuinder Avenue, and then they're going over to Hannon House, 4750 Woodward Avenue in Detroit. So tickets are $32.50 for both of them. Okay, and call Chiquita to RSVP.
So there's a luncheon.
And there's
so you're getting a lot. You're getting a lot. You're getting the movie and the lecture, the luncheon.
Right.
I mean, that's a good deal considering today's prices.
Yeah. So prices may increase as we get closer to the date. But if you just want to attend the luncheon, that's like $22.50. Okay. But contact Chiquita at 313-978-1089.
Say that number again.
313 I know I do radio. Yeah, I've been doing radio 12 years. 313. Thank you, Charlene. 313-978-1089 is her number. Give her a call. Let her know you heard about this on 9:10 a.m. Superstation WFDF. But also visit my website, theafricanhistorynetwork.com, and the information around the homepage. You can also call the offices of the African History Network, 313-462-0003. 313-462-0003. And we're trying to get any questions answered for you also.
That's fine. Should I take a couple calls? Kwame is on the line.
Yep.
Kwame, you're up.
Yeah, you said they got the ideal from Atlantis in the comic book?
Well, Prince Namor in the comic books is the ruler of the underworld nation, the underwater world of Atlantis. That's in the comic books.
Yeah, they're finding out that Atlantis is Mauritania. Now, the Eye of Sahara in Africa, that was Atlantis. That's where Atlantis started.
What information are you citing for that?
This is on the internet. Just look up the eye of the Sahara is Atlantis or the recheck structure. You know, everybody talks about it. But KC, see, we got Atlas downtown. That is an African leader.
Who?
And the Atlas that you got in front of the city county building.
Okay, you talking about the Spirit of Detroit?
Yeah. That is an African leader. That comes from Mauritania. They got two sets of Atlas Mountains, and both of them are in Africa.
Okay. I know Dr. David Imhotep, who's a friend of mine, who wrote the book "The First Americans Were Africans: Documented Evidence." I know he's done research on Atlantis, and he's talked about how Atlantis was real. I haven't been able to review that information, so I don't deal with that yet. I can call him, but I know he has information on that. But in the comic book, the submariner Prince Namor was introduced in 1939, and in the comic books, there's a Greek mythology influence into his character, into the underwater world of Atlantis.
This stuff is heavy.
You
really got to understand it.
But you know, those superpowers, see, Atlantis had all the electrical devices that we have today and more. That's how they were destroyed, actually. But that is very real. That's no illusion.
Right. What was the source you're citing for that information once again?
The recheck structure or the eye of the Sahara is Atlantis. You can get it off the institute.
All right. Well, if anybody can find it, it's Michael Imhotep. He'll find it. He is the ultimate historian.
Well, I call some of my teachers. I call some of the scholars.
You'll call somebody. We're going to take a call from PG. Welcome back, PG.
Thank you so much. I listen to your show, and your show is so amazing.
The African History Network show?
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
You cover everything. What I like about what you're presenting today is two things. You're looking at, or what I hear you presenting, you're presenting the black narrative, but how our black narrative does intersect with the Mexican and the Egyptian culture. It does all intersect.
Right.
The question that I have for you is, when we talk about black excellence, tell me what black excellence means to you. Because when I saw the first Black Panther, I saw black excellence in terms of us taking responsibility for how we live, our behavior, and what we do in a positive frame to build our culture. If a person were to say that we should be accountable for our behavior, with your expertise, does it seem like a black person would hate their race because they want our people to be excellent with our behavior and stop doing things that bring attention to us in the breaking the laws or with law enforcement?
Right.
So much for all that you offer.
Okay, thanks. And be sure to come out this Saturday to my presentation in Hannon House also.
I just might surprise you and do that.
Okay.
In the Silver Fox, we support a lot of events.
Okay, so black excellence, basically my understanding of it, and it's not a term I use a whole lot, but black excellence is basically a mindset backed up by actions that deal with excellent displays of leadership, excellent displays of African Americans doing great things, achieving great things, etc. It's focused on being positive, okay? Being excellent in what you do, excellent in what you achieve, etc. It's similar probably to Black Girl Magic, okay? And Black Girl Magic, to me, is similar to Wakanda in understanding Wakanda and what it means, because Wakanda means possesses secret powers, and African people are are powerful. African people are magical. Black women are magic, and we know African people are the mothers and fathers of civilization. Also, I didn't get a chance to say Wakanda is also a Key Congo word as well. Okay, so it's one of the Bantu languages. In Key Congo, it's in reference to family. Okay, so the word Wakanda is a very powerful word. So even though it's a fictitious movie, we see it references African history, African culture, African spiritual systems, but also now they bring in the Mesoamerican, Latino, Native American, Mexican angle to it as well, and deal with that. And there's a shared history of colonization, especially by the Spanish, because we see this depicted in the film, and we see we see Mexico colonized by Spain. We see Panama, Honduras, all of that, Hispaniola, conquered by Christopher Columbus on behalf of the Spanish crown. Okay, and we know that the Spanish were the second ones involved in the transatlantic slave trade also. So we'll deal with this on the other side of the break.
All right. And you know what that music means. I know what it means. We'll be right back with Bayri and Michael. And we are back. We're back. You're listening to the Anthony Adams Show. And no, I'm not Anthony Adams. Don't be confused. I'm Charlene Mitchell, filling in for my esteemed colleague, Attorney Anthony Adams, who had business to do today.
And shout out to Anthony Adams also, man. Congratulations on the show.
And he does a great show, Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Then on Friday, I'm here. Every Friday from 9 to 11. So, but today we have Michael Imhotep, who I have not seen in over 2 years. He's my colleague here at 910. He is a regular. He's been here a long time.
6 years.
And you do, I'm doing 6 years in January.
Okay. It's 6 years for me in April this past year.
And you do a different kind of show that is so informative, just so informative.
Thank you.
I want to ask you, well, we're going to try to take another. Is Michael still on? Did we already take Michael?
I think it's a different Michael.
A different Michael. Michael, you're up.
Hey, hello there. Thanks for taking my call. But I got to ask you about Michael Imhotep. You said something about Atlantis. When I heard about Atlantis, I remember Parliament Funkadelic when they played that for a minute.
With Atlantis and Parliament Funkadelic, I don't remember the connection. But what you see in Black Panther is Afrofuturism. Okay, now Afrofuturism is where African culture meets science fiction and fantasy. And oftentimes it can be a reinterpretation of African culture or historical events, things like this. This is Afrofuturism. And you see science fiction, technology incorporated. Now, one of the early pioneers of Afrofuturism would be George Clinton and the P-Funk All-Stars, as well as Sun Ra, even before the term Afrofuturism was coined.
Way back.
Even before the term Afrofuturism was coined. And you had George Clinton with the mothership coming down, which is probably in reference to the Dogon of Mali and Burkina Faso, who were originally in ancient Kemet, ancient Egypt. So the Atlantis reference, I'm not familiar with that, but I am familiar with the mothership thing and things like this. So we see that influence with George Clinton also. So Afrofuturism is very deep. Even though the movie is fictitious, we still see these references to history, African culture, spiritual systems. So we need to use those different references as tools to teach this information to our children and our people.
Let me ask you this. Does the average moviegoer really understand all this, or are they just looking
most
at
of them don't.
From just entertainment? It's just
most of them don't. That's why I'm here, and people like Tony Browder and other historians. That's why we're here.
We need clarification. You're breaking it down.
And also the 3-hour lecture that I did in 2018 on the film Black Panther. That's available at our website, theafricanhistorynetwork.com, because I get deep into this. It's a visual presentation. I had to do 3 months of research to be able to do my lectures on the film.
What makes you do all this? It's a lot of work.
First
of all, you're a very smart man.
Yeah,
I mean, your intellectual level is above most.
Okay, thanks.
I would think.
Thanks.
And your commitment to learning and understanding the African culture and the African American culture is deep. It's
Right.
really deep. Most people don't want to delve that far into it. It takes
Right.
too much time.
Right. Right. So, well, I started studying 1992 at Wayne State University. I was an undergrad at Wayne State, so I've been studying history 30 years. I was inspired by the movie Malcolm X, by conscious hip hop that was out then, late 80s, early 90s. I was inspired by TV shows like For the People, which came out of South Carolina, hosted by a journalist, African-American journalist named Listervelt Middleton. And each week, it stayed on for, it was a half-hour show, but each week he would interview one of the different African-centered scholars like Dr. Leonard Jeffries, Dr. Naeem Akbar, Dr. Maureen Bahani, Dr. Yosef Ben Yakinen, Dr. John Henry Clark, things like this. So this is where I got to first see them oftentimes. And Dr. Leonard Jeffries, he's one of my teachers. I know him personally now. And, you know, some of the seeds were probably sown by the miniseries Roots in 1977. I remember when that originally aired on TV. And then when I was in elementary school, in second or third grade for a short period of time, I was a member of a after school program called the African History Club. Okay, Mr. James at McFarland Elementary School, the African History Club.
So you've been kind of connected with this historical thing for a long time since you were a kid.
In one way or another, yeah. In one way or another, yes. So I've been doing it, but I've been studying history for 30 years, and intensely for the past 12 years. So speaking of history, we have some more calls, but Board Up had to leave the studio just for a second, so we don't have any way to connect them. But Lady Grace Baby and PG, hold on. I want to ask you, you talked about history. There are elected officials. Yes.
And the so-called powers that be that think they're running this country that want to erase parts of history. They want to ban books. When I heard they wanted to ban Toni Morrison in Florida, I mean, the bluest eye, really? You want to ban what? And you can't say certain words?
Right.
What is your position on what we're seeing? And I don't want to just say Ron DeSantis in Florida, but he's the kind of the ringleader of this.
Right. Well, this is an effort being backed by right-wing organizations. And when NBC News did their analysis on this, there's a good expose that people should read, and it deals with critical race theory, the attack on critical race theory in schools, okay? And I'm pulling up right now. It's a 16-page expose, and let me see what's the name of that. So there's one article that people need to read called "How Trump Ignited the Fight Over Critical Race Theory in Schools." Okay, that's from NBCNews.com.
Which kind of led to this banning of books,
banning
of words.
So there was a executive order that Trump did in September 2020, if I remember correctly, and this executive order banned the proposed policies mimic former President Trump's September 2020 memo, ordering the Office of Management and Budget to stop funding training on critical race theory for federal employees, calling it a quote-unquote propaganda effort.
Oh, boy.
Then you had the attack on the 1619 Project.
Yes.
Okay, and Donald Trump said he wasn't familiar with the year 1619. He talked about the year 1776, okay? So, and then from there, you had people like Christopher Rufo, I think is his name, Christopher Rufo, who put out misinformation about critical race theory. So there was a series of text messages, a series of Twitter posts he did May 15th, 2021. And what he said was that they wanted to rebrand critical race theory. He said, so this is 3:17 p.m., March 15th, 2021. Christopher F. Rufo. He said, the goal is to have the public read something crazy in the newspaper and immediately think critical race theory. We have decodified the term and will recodify it to annex the entire range of cultural constructions that are unpopular with Americans. So what Republicans did was they took this ideology, this critical race theory that develops in the late 1960s. Derek Bell, is one of the architects, Kimberly Crenshaw.
Which is really not taught in public schools anyway. It's taught at law school level.
Wayne, it is not taught in K through 12 at all, period.
Right.
Basically, it's
Right.
taught, it's a legal analysis to understand how laws and policies still impose racism. Okay,
Right.
So it's taught in law schools, and it's taught at the graduate school level, a little bit at the undergrad level, but it's not taught in K through 12.
Well, we want to make
Yeah.
use of this 3 minutes before the break.
Yeah.
Lady Grace, you're up.
Thank you. And I have a statement and a question for your guest there. First of all, I truly thank you for your call of service. The knowledge that spills out of your mouth on a regular basis.
Oh, thank
You're doing, this is my version of excellence for the majority of our people.
Oh, thanks.
Really.
Thank you.
And I don't use excellence too much either, because everybody's excellence is a little different. Did you actually apply for the fictitious task force at the city council about the reparations? Did you apply for that? That's one question.
Did I apply to be on the task force?
Yes.
No, I didn't apply. Some people ask me to be on the task force. My hands are full with what I'm doing, and I can't. I don't have the time. I can't do it.
But they should have reached out to you. You should have been appointed and paid, literally. Right. I'm going to say this on a national level. If something like this comes about, would you be willing to sit on a panel and help draft this whole changing thing?
Well, he has a national platform because you're on Roland Martin.
I'm on Roland Martin's show on Fridays. I'm a panelist. Yes. So here's the deal, my sister. And this came up on Faraji Muhammad's show yesterday on the Black Star on Roland's network. And I talked about this last Friday on Roland's show. I'm all for repairing the damage of 246 years of slavery and decades of Jim Crow segregation and redlining and things like this and systemic racism. I'm all for that. Now, my concept as a historian and someone who's also a political commentator, also understands politics and law. First of all, reparations, the root concept means repairing the damage of a harm that was done. Okay? To repair means to restore you, to make you whole again. All right. So before we start talking about how to repair the damage, we first have to analyze who African people were and what African people had before the damage was done.
Wow.
Just trying to give a check.
That's heavy.
And trying to equate a check to the fact that we didn't get paid, our ancestors didn't get paid for 246 years. That's not reparations.
Okay. Wow. You said a mouthful.
Yes.
We'll be back with our last segment, and we're going to kind of recap. And we're back here. You're listening to the Anthony Adams Show. I'm Charlene Mitchell, filling in for Anthony Adams. The challenge of talk radio, even though we have 2 hours, is the 2 hours goes by so fast because when we invite guests into the studio, we obviously need to give most of the time to the guest. They've come here, they've been invited here for a reason, and we want them to talk. But we also love our listeners, and we like to take the calls. And I guess you can say when the board lights up, that means you're having a good show. But for me, it means I can't take all the calls. So we've got to do a couple things before we take any more calls. So let's make it fast. You have an event coming up.
Yes.
Tell us about your event.
Okay, Saturday, November 19th, there's a screening and there is a lunch and discussion dealing with Black Panther Wakanda Forever. And Sister Chiquita contacted me. She's organizing the event. I'm speaking from 2:30 at the luncheon. It's 2:30 to 4:30 p.m. at Hannon House Center, 4750 Woodward Avenue in Detroit. And then there's a screening of the film at 11 a.m. for those who have not seen the film. It's at MJR Universal 16 Theater, 28600 DeQuinder Avenue. And you can call Chiquita for more information in the RSVP 313-978-1089. 313-978-1089. She'll give you the information on tickets. We also have the information on the homepage of our website, theafricanhistorynetwork.com. theafricanhistorynetwork.com. If you just want to come to the luncheon part, you can do that as well. You can also call us 313.
But the luncheon includes the lecture.
The luncheon includes the lecture as well that I'm doing. And
So when people come to a Michael Imhotep lecture,
Mhm.
what do they leave with?
Oh, well, they're going to leave with a ton of information. You can take notes. I do a visual presentation. Also, I have my lectures on sale there as well. The lecture that I did in 2018 dealing with Black Panther, we'll have that on sale also.
So they can really
you're gonna
educate
learn a lot.
themselves.
Oh, you can educate. We're going to deal with
That's what you're about.
history. Yeah, we're going to deal with history, culture. We'll deal with the film, break down the film, look at the Mesoamerican influence in it as well. So you're going to learn a lot. But visit our website, theafricanhistorynetwork.com. All the information is there. You can also email us through the website as well. And if you want me to do a presentation for your group or organization, contact me also. We can set that up either virtually or in person, in-state, out-of-state. We can set that up as well.
And we want to take a call from Jerome. Good morning.
You know, our history is really important. So, you know, and I want to advise everyone that there needs to be simply an accreditation in not just the state of Michigan, but all over the country of our children's history, of our history. Because in order for you to teach a white child history, you have to have the necessary hours accreditation of the history just to get your certification. But Black children's history is not even in the books. So our children's history needs to be in all books so all people can make better decisions about our children and about our people to make America great the way that it really needs to be. You know my story. If you don't, you better ask somebody.
Right,
All right.
right. You know, Dr. Carter G. Woodson, who co-founded the Association for the Study of Negro Life and History in 1915 and created Negro History Week in 1926, which became Black History Month in 1976, he said that the history of African Americans need to be taught in every school across the country, not just the schools that we're in, but every school across the country. And the reason why is because the way you treat a people is largely based upon what you think about a people. What you think about a people is largely based upon what you've been taught and what you read, heard, and seen about a people. So when you have stereotypes of African Americans, that's allowed to manifest and metastasize because of ignorance, because the correct information has not been presented or presented on a mass level. And Americans are very ignorant of history also. That's extremely important to understand. Americans are very ignorant of history.
But ask them about popular culture, and they can tell you every song that's on the Billboard chart
Right,
and
right.
everything else. We're going to take another call from
Yes.
Ms. Jones. We're moving quickly here. Ms. Jones, thanks for calling.
Good morning, Jeff. How are you?
Good, good.
How you doing?
I'm okay. Look, I make my comment real quick. I just want to comment on the producers of the movie. They did a good job.
Yes.
And I'm just hoping that all our people go out and see the movie because it's a great movie.
Absolutely.
Well, it made $180 million just in the U.S. on opening night, and
Well, opening weekend, this past
opening
weekend, yes.
and over $330 million worldwide.
Worldwide, yes.
Last time I checked.
Yeah, it was released in
So,
55 countries.
That was a lot of money.
Yep.
A lot of
And
ticket
I got
sales.
I got one more thing I want to say.
Okay.
I am loving my Afro-American cinema movies. It's fantastic.
Okay.
Am I speaking to?
All right, good.
So much.
All right,
And
thank you.
thank you, Ms.
Okay,
Jones,
Ms.
for
Jones.
calling. Beiree. Beiree, you're up.
Thank you. I just want to congratulate you, Charlene, and also Michael. First of all, the whole meal, what you did, Mike.
Yes.
You brother. You just all the things go on we talk about. I just want to give you a shout out. Another thing, when I first called the country, to history, let the history brought out the benefits made to McKinney. You look at the he just by his movie. She wanted better than the last time. She should have said, and God made McKinney. I'm believing that also. The benefit you were talking to in New York, you don't want to talk about. You on the radio with it? That's right. You need to hire him, but she got a movie like you live now. You need to hire him. You saw him sending the money for deal with them. I know, you know where I am. You can find
Yeah.
me at the juice bar. I'm recovering from my sickness, my
Oh, okay.
Well,
We'll
we want you to
well
get.
soon.
We want you to get well. We have about 1 minute. Dorothy, you have about 30 seconds. I hate to give you a short time, but go ahead.
That's okay. I'll just kudos to Jerome. He's absolutely right. Because back in the day, I'm older than most of y'all. We had Negro history, European history, and American history in the books, and they took it out. That is very important. That's what we used to have, Negro history. Thank you.
All right. We just have a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
We just had a big election, midterm elections.
Sure.
What do you think about the results in Michigan and across the country? And then we'll end on
a lot of the
Herschel
results
Walker.
a lot of the results were fantastic. There was no red wave. I told my listeners, don't listen to the polls. Go out and vote. A lot of the polls were junk polls. We see for the first time in 40 years, Democrats took back control of the state legislature here in Michigan, and we see Governor Gretchen Whitmer, Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson, and State's Attorney General Dana Nessel were reelected. Across the country, Democrats will probably win in Georgia, so they'll end up with 51 Senate seats. That's
well,
what
we took Nevada and Arizona. Nobody thought
and I thought they were going to do that. So they may take control of the Senate. It looks like Republicans will have a slim majority in the House. They may end up with 220 House seats. They're going to have a hard time trying to govern with some of this crazy.
45? What about 45?
He announced
I didn't watch it.
He didn't get a whole lot of media coverage on this. I'm not certain he's going to get the nomination for Republicans. A lot of them want him to disappear.
He might have to just nominate himself or run on his own.
Well, we'll see what happens. But Joe Biden will beat him again. If he gets the nomination, Joe Biden will beat him again.
All right, Michael Imhotep, I cannot tell you how pleased I am that you came in.
Oh,
that
thanks,
you took
Charlene.
Time out of your schedule.
Thanks.
I know you're busy.
And shout out to Anthony Adams. If you want me on the show, contact me, Anthony. I'll definitely come on for you.
All righty. And until tomorrow morning, I'll be back tomorrow morning, filling in for Anthony again. And then Friday morning, I'll be back. And Thursday morning, and Thursday night, and Friday morning. So you're going to see a lot of me. Okay. Thank you so much for listening, and have a great day.
Hotep, everybody. Hey, this is Michael Imhotep, founder of the African History Network, host of the African History Network show. I'm a talk show host, researcher, lecture writer, and historian. I hope you are enjoying this broadcast that you're watching right now. I wanted to take a couple of minutes and let you know about the online history courses that I teach. So if you like this broadcast that you're watching, you definitely want to register for the online history classes that I teach. We normally teach the classes on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Our next class of Ancient Kemet, the Moors and the Ma'afa, Understanding the Transatlantic Slave Trade, is going to take place on Thursday, November 17th, 2022, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if we look at a brief overview of the class, and the class is on sale, the class is on sale $60, regularly $130. Okay, so we have the class discounted right now. And if we look at a brief overview of the class as well, I've been teaching this class since 2017. Okay, and I put together the curriculum for the class. I've been studying history 30 years, and we can't start the study of our history in slavery, even though understanding the transatlantic slave trade is very important. We can't start in slavery. We have to deal with thousands of years of history that lead up to the transatlantic slave trade taking place. We look at the 800-year occupation of Europe by the Africans known as the Moors as well, to understand what leads up to the transatlantic slave trade taking place. Okay, so a brief overview of the class. We can't start studying our history in slavery. Even when we study the transatlantic slave trade, which is important to study, we can't start in 1619 or in the 1440s when the Portuguese get involved in the transatlantic slave trade. We have to understand the history chronologically and deal with the 800-year occupation of Europe by the Africans known as the Moors, who enter into the Iberian Peninsula, today known as Spain and Portugal, who enter into the Iberian Peninsula, today known as Spain and Portugal, from North Africa in 711 AD. This course not only deals with the transatlantic slave trade, but it also deals with thousands of years of history that leads up to the transatlantic slave trade taking place. August 20th, 2019 marked the 400th year anniversary of the 20 and odd Africans who came into Point Comfort in Virginia, August 20th, 1619, on the White Lion pirate ship. And this would later be the colony of Virginia, okay? And when those 20 and odd Africans came in, codified slave laws did not exist in any of the 13 colonies. Codified slave laws don't come to Massachusetts till 1641. They don't come to the Virginia till about 1660 or 1661. Now, this year, 2019, was known as the year of return. The year of return, as many African Americans were reconnecting to Africa and traveling to Ghana and other West African countries. When we discuss the transatlantic slave trade, we have to first understand that African people are the original people of North, Central, and South America and have been in the land we call the United States of America at least 51,700 years. Okay, so we have the information on the homepage of our website, AfricanWork.com, theafricanhistorynetwork.com. We also, so you can register there for it, for the class. And we have a bundle pack where you can register for both classes at a discount. So normally the classes are $130 each. They're on sale right now, $60. So we do the sessions live. All the sessions are archived. They're recorded. You can go back and watch them anytime. And we're going to do at least 10 weeks for these sessions. We may do 11 or 12 just to give us enough to get all the information in. So click right here for register here. You can use a debit card or credit card. We have the bundle pack information here as well. The bundle is on sale, $100. It's regularly $130. Click right here to register here for the bundle. And then the second class that I teach on Tuesdays is From the Civil War to the Civil Rights Movement of Black Power, 1865 to 1968. That next class is going to be on Tuesday, November 22nd. Tuesday, November 22nd, okay? And this class picks up where basically where understanding the transatlantic slave trade leaves off. This is another 10-week online class. And once again, we do the sessions live. All the sessions are archived and recorded. You can go back and watch these classes a year from now, 2 years from now. You'll still have full access to the class. Okay, so with this course here, a brief overview, in the aftermath of the insurrection a year ago, the January 6, 2021 insurrection at the U.S. Capitol building, many leading historians drew parallels between the violence that we saw that day and the Reconstruction era, which was 1865 to 1877. And this was the period of political revolution directly following the U.S. Civil War, which was 1861 to 1865. This 10-week online course will analyze U.S. history primarily from the African American perspective, beginning in 1865 with the 40 Acres and a Mule Special Field Order number 15. And actually, we start in 1800 with the 1800 census, and we look at 1803 with the Louisiana Purchase and the Haitian Revolution. And we go and look at history chronologically leading up to the Civil War taking place. And then we do at the end of the Civil War, Juneteenth, June 19th, 1865. We deal with Special Field Order number 15, 40 Acres and a Mule, January 1865. And then we look at the Reconstruction era. And we go through and look at history chronologically through to 1968. So we'll look at the Reconstruction era, 1865, 1877, the Red Summer of 1919, the year after the Civil War ended. I'm just sorry, the year after World War I ended in 1918, the Red Summer, where you had over 25 major race riots across the country. We look at the Jim Crow era, which is the period of time after Reconstruction ends. We go and look at the 1880s, 1890s, 1900s. We look at the Jim Crow era, and when the Southern states are rewriting their state constitutions to impose poll taxes and literacy tests, like Mississippi State Convention of 1890. We look at World War I, the Great Migration, 1915 to 1970. 6 million African Americans migrate from the South up north and out west. World War II, the Civil Rights Movement, and the Black Power Movement. To understand what happened to us after slavery ended. Okay, what were the laws and policies put in place to put us where we are today, to understand where we need to go from here? Okay, so the second class is from the Civil War to the Civil Rights Movement and Black Power, 1865 to 1968. Okay, it's important to understand the chronology of history to get a better understanding of how we got to where we are now, to understand where we need to go from here. Unfortunately, some of this history is repeating itself. Okay, so we have this available at our website as well, theafricanhistorynetwork.com. Normally the classes are on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. You can share this information with your children. I would say the information is PG-13. It's very visual. I do a PowerPoint presentation with book references, articles, video clips. Usually for the book references, I'll show you the excerpts on the screen. So, and we do the sessions live. All the sessions are archived and recorded. You can go back and watch it anytime. So as soon as you register for the classes, there's content that you can start watching right now. Okay, so hopefully you learn a lot in these classes. Keep watching our broadcast. Keep watching this video that you're watching. And follow us on our Facebook fan page, The African History Network, The African History Network, and our YouTube channel, Michael Imhotep, Imhotep, and Michael Imhotep on Instagram as well. Remember, right now it's correct wrong behavior. It's not over till we win. Wakanda forever. And we'll talk to you next time. Peace. Also, you can also listen to our radio show. You can also listen to our radio show on Sundays, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the African History Network show. We have the information right on the homepage of our website, right at the top. Okay, so we have our social media information, social media handles, and information about the radio show. And you can click right here to listen to audio podcasts of the radio show as well. We're on Sundays, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the African History Network show on 9:10 a.m. Superstation WFDF in Detroit. You can also download the iHeartRadio app and search for 9:10 a.m. WFDF and listen live, or the TuneIn radio app. You can listen live there as well. Okay. All right. Remember, right now it's correct wrong behavior. It's not over till we win. Wakanda forever. And thanks for watching our broadcast. Thanks for supporting us. Also, if you want to support the African History Network, $, the AHN show through Cash App, $, the AHN show through Cash App, and through PayPal, paypal.me/the AHN show. This helps us keep doing the research, stay on the air, keep broadcasting, pay some of the bills. And we have our Cash App information and social media, our Cash App information and PayPal information right on the homepage of our website also. Okay, so check that out as well. All right, remember, right now it's correct wrong behavior. It's not over